Okay, fantastic. Well, hi everybody. My name is Abby. I am a program manager with Catch Global Foundation. I'm excited to be with you this evening. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to come visit with me and talk about our school fundraising program called GoDough. We're really excited to work with Penny to partner up with Alabama State Asaford in this endeavor. So today we're just going to kind of go over an overview of why we think you should choose Godot for your fundraising platform at your school, and then just really kind of visit the fundraising page and go through the process a little bit, and then answer any questions you might have, and also show you some of the other tools that we have to make it easier for you to create your page and get started. I was talking to Ginger before everybody joined, and since we are a small group, questions are definitely welcome. You can feel free to type them right into the chat box, or you can just unmute and kind of shout them out since we're pretty small here. I do see some more people coming in the waiting room. So Ginger, I'll just admit folks as they come in, okay? All right, well, without further ado, let's go Dough. So why did we create Godot? Catch Global Foundation is actually a nonprofit. We are not in the fundraising game. We're not like, that's not traditionally what we've done. Many of you might be familiar with Catch. It's an evidence-based obesity prevention program. We have lots of different resources around physical education and nutrition education and coordinated school health and all the rest. So why did we feel the need, to create this program? Well, reason being is that we are interested in school sustainability of wellness programming. So we do a lot of grant funded work where we're building capacity at a school level to do health and wellness. And then what happens when that funding dries up, right? Well, then the program sometimes goes away or is not sustainable. So we wanted to empower schools to be able to self-fundraise, to be able to continue that work, and to also get the most out of their fundraising dollars. We did sort of a survey of the fundraising tools available to schools, and there were a lot of problems that we saw. So we thought, hey, we can do this for schools. We can use this as a service to help support schools and being able to fundraise to sustain their wellness programs. All right. So it's, again, our main endeavor was to really simplify the fundraising process for folks and make it easy and of greater value. So we kind of did this on two ends of the spectrum. So I'm just going to kind of go over these basics. So on one end of the spectrum is creating your fundraising page and collecting the money from your community, right? So we tried to simplify that, and we'll get into that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, right, of the equation is how you spend that money. So we tried to simplify that too. Sometimes there's a lot of red tape in schools and districts, and you don't even see the money, and it's a little challenging. So we created what we call our GoDough card, which functions basically as a Visa debit card. And we wanted to give teachers, we wanted to empower teachers to decide what you want to spend that money on. You can spend it on professional development. You can spend it on, Alabama State Asaford dues. You can spend it on whatever you can dream up, as long as it's connected to your wellness program and sustaining wellness in your school community. So being that the funds are on a debit card, it makes it a lot easier for you to make those spending decisions, and you're not tied to a certain vendor, etc. Now, what we found out is this is not going to work for every school. Sometimes there's some pretty heavy rules around how you can fundraise and how you can spend. So we do offer an option where you just get a one-time check distribution sent direct to the school. So that's how we kind of went about it. Try to simplify the collecting of the money and also the spending of the money. So how does it stack up? How does Godot stack up, against other fundraising programs that are available? So the big differentiator here is that with Godot, the school keeps the vast majority of the funds that they raise. With some of these other programs, you only keep, 15–20% of the funds, and that sometimes it's graduated, right? Like you have to raise $500, $1,000, $1,500 before you get to see those returns. So, you know, you can see for yourself here a list of sort of popular school fundraisers that are out there. Some are health and wellness specific, some are just sort of general ones. And you can see that obviously with Godot, the school gets to keep 75% of the funds that, you know, you're generating. So within that, we just want to be real transparent and make sure you understand how those funds are distributed and where they're going. As I mentioned before, we are a nonprofit, and this is why we're able to give back to the schools the majority of the funds. We're not trying to make money off of this. This is, again, a tool we see to help support schools, which is our mission. So, you know, you can see that 75% goes direct local impact back to your school. The other 25% is a part of that goes to our partnership. So your state affiliate there that provides you that great professional development and resources and community, all that, they get a portion of that fundraising, and then the rest goes to our nonprofit work that impacts, you know, national programs that we do. We do what we call our Catch Promise work, where we look for underserved communities and provide them training resources and support, you know, through the Catch program. And if you want more information about that, I'm happy to do that in another time. But I know we're focused on Godot today. But so that's where your dollars are going. It's not anything that Catch is keeping or making money off of. Obviously, there are a few administrative costs to keeping up the website and things like that. But really, most of the money goes to that local impact, which is your school. So back to the basics here. I think I did this whole slide. I was supposed to just talk on the one side, but it is that equation, right? It's the money coming in and money going out, and we tried to simplify, you know, both ends of that equation. So I guess this is a nice place for a pause. Does anybody have any questions so far around sort of the idea, the basic idea of what Godot does, or how, you know, what it is? Not so far. Okay, so I'm gonna carry on. So if you choose Godot and create your page and spend or you know, collect the money, how do we get it to the schools? Well, again, our preferred method is through this Catch Godot Visa debit card. So it looks just like a normal debit card, right, that you would have. And we have some controls around it to make it really safe and secure. So certain vendors are restricted, and you couldn't go and use that at an ATM or at a fuel pump or something like that. And then we do you know, audits every now and again, just to make sure everybody is making sure to spend those funds on health and wellness related content. And if there is an issue, we just call you and say, hey, what's going on with this? And then you would just explain to us, you know, what you're spending the money on. If there is some suspicious activity, it could lead to a freeze on the card. So for example, let's say you are a school in Alabama and we see a bunch of charges in Bermuda or whatever, we'd be like, I wonder if this is on the level. So we might freeze that card if we see some suspicious activity. We do allow online purchasing with this card, which also I think is much easier. You know, obviously these days when we're all stuck in isolation, so you can, you know, use this card at Amazon or Target or wherever. You can purchase things online. So again, why did we create this program? We noticed a lot of challenges in the fundraising sort of scheme of things for PE and health and wellness, and we tried to find solutions for those. So I'm gonna kind of go over those one by one. There's a big fundraising gap, as you know, after Jump Rope for Heart skipped out for our state level affiliate, SHAPE affiliates and Asaford affiliates. So, you know, 10% again of all the money that you're raising in the state is going direct to Alabama State Asaford to continue to provide you those, you know, really valuable services and professional development and all those things that they do for you. One other thing that we noticed is in a lot of fundraisers, you know, the PE teacher wouldn't be able to use those funds to attend professional development or conferences. And we really believe in professional development and staying current in, you know, best practice and, you know, and honing your skills. And so for us, that would be a great use of fundraising to improve your program, is to use that for professional development, whether that's at national shape or, you know, your state shape or anything, you know, beyond. So that was one thing we wanted to make sure was available. So a lot of times there's not the staff support in your school or even at Alabama State Asaford to support, you know, fundraising. So Catch really handles all that operation side in terms of maintaining the website and, you know, collecting the money and all of that stuff. So, you know, the state Asaford hopefully will promote it and help kind of get everyone on board, but really that administrative work is on Catch. What else? So another thing that we worried about when we looked at the fundraising landscape is that many school level fundraisers are not aligned to our mission of promoting healthy behavior. So, you know, there's lots of fast food fundraisers and candy bar raiser, you know, fundraisers and the like that you'll find at schools, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but we didn't want to give that mixed message, right? That we're trying to sustain our wellness program by selling candy bars. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us. So it builds that mission and empowers PE teachers and health teachers to create fundraisers that are more based in what we believe, right? And then we noticed too that in a lot of fundraisers, you're kind of locked into one vendor. You might get a gift card to go spend it here or there. And sometimes what you want isn't in that vendor, or you want to go get PD and you can't, or whatever. So we didn't want that to have, we wanted to empower, again, the PE teacher to make those decisions for him or herself around what would be, you know, the thing that they need to take their wellness program to the next level. So that's how we kind of looked at it. Problem, you know, solution. So hopefully that's what Godot is. So what does it look like? We do use a third-party website called Fundraiser. And I will be taking you to that site to kind of show you how it looks. But this is basically the template that you will get when you register for a page through the umbrella Alabama state page, okay? So as you can see, I took this from a real fundraiser that a teacher in Washington State did. Her name's Mrs. Flink, and she, you know, raised a bit of money, and then Corona hit, so she didn't make her goal because this was last spring. We've been kind of like a little bit, you know, off our game in Corona year. But she, you know, has a great page, and I can link you to her page too as a great example if you're looking for one. But this is basically what it looks like. So I'm gonna kind of take you through again. Let's see here. Oh, so we do have some tools for you to use to help you get your page started. We have a fundraising toolkit, and we do have some sample templates. I am gonna show you those as well. Maybe I should just show it to you now. Let me do that. So now you see the template, I believe. Yes, which is like a Word document. Okay, yes. So you will have access to this. This is just a tool that will help you set up your page, hopefully. So this is just like a generic, you know, fundraiser around like a wellness message. So it just gives you step-by-step places that you would want to change and customize for your own school. So obviously, you're going to want to use a picture of your own kids or your own building or whatever. So it just gives you those little tips of, you know, what you would want to customize. All right. And it does give you an example of language that you could use. So if you like this language and you like all this, you could literally, you know, cut and paste this and put it, you know, direct into your page. Obviously, you're going to have to enter your own school name and redo the budget based on what you want to spend it on. We do recommend that you are transparent with your community on what you will be spending the money on, so you would put that in your narrative story. but this is just really what it would look like. And I'm going to take you through, and we're going to do one together in just a minute. And then we have just some advice basically on what makes a good fundraising page. Okay, so does that make sense? So this is something you would, have access to. Another tool I want to show you, hopefully this will just pop right up. So we also created just, again, a generic principal letter, like if you're, trying to run this past your administrator and give them all the information that they would need. This just is a handy tool. Again, feel free to edit it and make it your own, but I just wanted to highlight that that is, a tool that we have for you. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen one last time to get back to my presentation mode. Okay, so we're back to the PowerPoint. And just one last kind of reinforcing of why you might want to choose Godot or what separates Godot. Again, it's health oriented, it's simple to set up, simple to manage. You get a great return, far and away more than any other fundraising platform that we're aware of. The funds are flexible. Again, it's you making those decisions on what you want to spend the funds on, and not having to be locked into a certain vendor or whatever. And then we provide financial tools to help you with the managing of the money. So you never have to touch any money unless you want to collect cash. And that's an option, or checks. We'd have that option too. So if your community is not one who's gonna use the online, credit card stuff, there is a way. We have a deposit slip that if you have a Chase Bank anywhere near you, you could just go to any Chase Bank branch and deposit the money, and it goes right to your Godot account, if that makes sense. Okay, so again, I'm gonna make a quick pause here, but if there's not any questions, then I will take you to the actual fundraising page so you can check it out, and we'll create a little campaign together. Does that sound good? Okay, so hopefully my internet is going to be cooperative. Yep, here we go. I'm going to go on the public view. So this is your Alabama state page, okay? I helped, generate this page with Penny a little while ago in the fall. And it just has some canned, generic default language. It's very nice language. And this is what will get scooped up into your campaign when you register, okay? If you like this language, you can feel free to keep it. But we feel that it's more compelling to whoever you're trying to raise money from if you add your own flavor, right? And your own story. And you might want to do an event. Like I know Penny has told me you guys are doing some kind of 5K project there in the state. So if you're doing an event-based fundraiser, you can do that. But this is basically the narrative, right? And then at the bottom here, eventually, when you guys start populating the page with your own school level fundraisers, you'll see all these little thumbnails. This is one I created just, to have something there to show you. But this is what it'll look like when you have those little school level fundraisers. So somebody could come to the Alabama state page, right? And then scroll down and see, oh, here's the 10 schools. These projects look really cool. I'm going to contribute to all of them or one of them, pick my favorite, that kind of thing. Okay, so how do I get started? This is where you're going to start. You're going to come here to the Alabama state page, and then you're going to press register. Okay, so you will have to create an account within Fundraiser. So that's an extra step. So just make sure you build that into your to-do list there. Or you can, register on Fundraiser first if you want to get that out of the way. I'm already registered, so I don't have to go through that. I would say register as an individual, okay? Just to make it simple. That doesn't mean you can't add team members to your campaign, but it's just a little bit easier there. You can figure out your message now, or you could skip this bit for now if you want, okay? So this is just kind of the summary piece. So you could add, healthy, whoops, kids learn, oh my gosh, learn better. Whatever you wanted to do. If you wanted to record a video, that would be amazing, because then you could have your own smiling face and potentially your community will know you and be compelled by you giving a video message. That is totally up to you. And then you can set your fundraising goal. So there is a bit of pre-work in that, you know, hopefully before you register, you're going to kind of brainstorm an idea of what you want to fundraise for and get a little budget together. So, you know, maybe I'm looking to raise about $1,000. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is that you keep at your school 75% of that. So I would get $750 out of that $1,000. So you just have to kind of keep that in mind when you get your budget, right? So then I click continue. Welcome aboard. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna view my page. So boom, it's already done. That's all you have to do. And now you are in the, it says owner for me because I have a different level. So I'll be able to see all your pages too and help and support you. But you will probably be manager right here. So there is a public view that you can see. But for this, I'm going to go back to the owner page because this is what you're going to see when you create your own campaign. Okay. So there is an inbox. The fundraiser team in this website gives you lots of helpful tools if you want to look at those, but those are not necessarily necessary. So you come down here and you can see, oh, look at that. That's my little blurb and that's my profile pic from Fundraiser. So that's there. And now I get down to where sort of the rubber meets the road. So do you remember that template I showed you, that Word document where it gave you the like, click here to change your picture and click here to change the name. So everywhere you see this little edit pencil, you can change the name. So let's say my school is Washington Elementary Wellness Warriors, something like that. That's cute, right? So you make your own title, right? You can be creative, whatever. I would be able to change my picture. I'm not going to upload a picture now. Again, you can see that this just the default sucked all that information, including the picture, from the main state level page. So I would want to ideally change the picture there. It's really easy. Literally, you just edit and you know, you would just upload, you know, either a video or a picture. So really simple, nothing hard here, but just, you know, kind of wanted to give you that view. New campaign. Well, let me get back to it. So then you would also hopefully want to change the story, the narrative, right? So as I mentioned, here's the canned language that Penny and I came up with. That's very sort of could work for every school, but it doesn't say anything really specific about what you want to do, like if you wanted to do an event or anything like that. So you could decide to keep this language, or you could personalize it to fit your school and your event. So that's that. I am going to show you another view here. So when in doubt, look up in this black ribbon at the top. The best place to start here is in the edit view. So when you edit, then it's more of a list here on the left-hand side that's going to help you figure out what you need to customize, right? So it's nice too because you can customize your link to make it easier to communicate and share. So I could customize this to say, you know, Wellness Warriors. If it's available, then I can take it. This is a great place where you can, you know, create your story. You can add pictures, which is nice, within, or a video within that narrative piece. There's a little social media summary. That's not too important. And then the rest you don't have to touch. Okay, you could put your location. This is the main Asaford, you know, state Asaford location. But if you're in a different town in Alabama, you know, then you just put your own town right there. So once this is good, let's see, picture and video. So that's, you know, again, a place where you're gonna change your picture, the main cover picture, or you could do a video. You want to come down here to layout. There's really nothing you have to change here at all. Then you want to come here to funding and deadline. I already created that budget, but you can come and change it, you know, and edit it at any time. Obviously, we want to use dollars. We do recommend that you do set a deadline, just because it's easier to promote if you're like, okay, we're going to take these 2 weeks to raise funds. So you decide on your deadline. You want to keep this, keep it all. That's how it's set up. And then you want to keep this the same, okay? Because this is our organization, and it goes, again, we keep the money for you, right? And then we distribute it through that Godot card. Contribution amounts, you have to know your community. Like if you want to have different amounts, you can put different amounts. You do need to have at least $10 be the lowest amount, because otherwise the processing fee for the credit card is beyond that, and we can't take credit card donations under $10. Does that make sense? So and that's basically it. And these you don't need to touch at all. These are already set. So that's all you would need to do in terms of editing. Then you go back here. Oh, leave site. No, I don't want to leave site. View campaign. Oh, I guess it does want me to leave the site. Okay, let's see what that goes. Okay, so here I am back to the main view. I'm just going to show you what it looks like to you know, the public when you share it. You know, this is what it looks like, right? So there's your face. You can decide to put, you know, not your picture if you want. You could put a picture of your mascot, school mascot, or something else if you want. You can also invite folks to join the team. That way they can promote your fundraiser with you. And then when you're ready to launch it, you just share, right? You guys know how to share stuff. This is, you know, most people know how to use Facebook. So you would embed it in Facebook, on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, all different ways that you can share. You can share by email to send out email to your community. You can embed a link into your web page or into a flyer or anything like that. So, you know, lots of different ways to share it. But at baseline, you know, you just get that custom URL that you just, you know, popped in there, and, you know, say, hey, contribute to my page, and here's the URL. Oh, I didn't save my work. That was bad. So yeah, I should have gone down there and saved it. That's why it's not there. But so that is the basics. I'm gonna go back to the main state campaign so that we can see that that new little school level fundraiser, here I'll go back to the public view, was created. Oh, look at that. We have a new little baby campaign right there, which is nice because then you can kind of do little leaderboards and see, oh, a little healthy competition within the membership, who's raising the most money, you know, that kind of thing could be, you know, a fun thing to play with. So that is basically it. Any questions on how it works?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Once you reach your goal, does the campaign just end, or can people still contribute beyond that?
That is up to you. So you can decide to extend your goal or extend the time. I think if you do set a time limit, it will end after that time limit, but you would have to decide, you know, whether or not you wanted to, you know, say, oh, great, we've made our goal and now we can, you know, keep going. So actually that's a good thing to show everybody is that you can post updates. So, you know, you would want to, you know, make an update here to say, hey, you know, we made our goal, woohoo, woohoo, made our goal, or thank you, or whatever, you know, any kind of thing you wanted to update. And again, it's nice to add pictures and things like that. And then you would post it on there, and then, you know, share that hopefully too with folks who are following your campaign. So yeah, there's a way to post updates and things like that within the campaign, so that, you know, when you do meet your goal or make a milestone, hey, we made our first $100, awesome, you know, it kind of generates more excitement and things like that. So thanks for that question. Yeah.
Can you also have multiple campaigns going at once?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. So, you know, here's me. I have lots of campaigns, obviously, that I'm associated with because, you know, I have, so for example, just now I did this Washington Elementary Warriors, but I also have this other campaign that I did John Doe, you know, when we were setting up the page together, Penny and I, just to kind of demonstrate. So yeah, you can have as many different campaigns as you want. And you can, you know, go here once you have your account or whatever, you can create a campaign from here. But really, we kind of want to stay away from that because we want to make sure to do it through the Alabama State page, if that makes sense. So this should always be your starting place for where you start your campaign, is by registering here.
Okay, and you have a question in the chat. I can read that for you.
Okay, great. Yes, please.
It says,
I can't find the chat for some reason.
is this an ongoing fundraiser or a one-time event? Will this be available next year? And so on.
So the short answer is it's up to you. You can make it that's the beauty of Godot. So if you want to make it time limited, you can say, okay, we're doing this fundraiser for you know, jump rope for heart, and you can replicate the same jump rope for heart you always did. It's the first week in February or whatever, and it's just that week, and then it's done. And if you want to do another fundraiser, you start a different page, or you can make it open-ended and say, we're building the whole year. And I actually have a couple of brothers who are PE teachers in Brownsville, Texas, who've been raising funds since 2019 school year. And they have both raised over $5,000 each. And they have like a little friendly competition, and they just kind of keep it going. And all the fundraisers that they do in their school, like when they have a basketball game or different things, they just sort of share and communicate with folks. Don't forget to go to our Godot page and contribute to our fundraiser there. So it's more of just an ongoing thing for them. But you get to choose really how you want to use it.
And you did say that the money gets placed on the card throughout the event. So you're not waiting until the event to actually end before you get to collect the funds.
So as soon as that first dollar comes in to your page, right, then you will get distributions every 2 weeks, right? So depending on how long, I mean, we don't recommend doing a fundraiser unless you want to do that ongoing kind of thing. Like, you know, we recommend having a time limited of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. But, you know, we will continue to load the money as much, you know, as often as it comes in every 2 weeks. Does that make sense? And then you are free to keep that money. That's the other great thing about the Godot card, if you can make that work in your school, is that those funds do not expire. A lot of times when fundraising, you get that money, it's in a line item, whatever, and then at the end of the semester or the end of the year, that money disappears. This way, it carries over, it's continuous, you can use it year over year. You know, we obviously have a partnership agreement with Alabama State Asaford. We're happy to renew that if it's going well. Hopefully it will be. So the question on, is this going to be available next year? I certainly hope so, but it's not necessarily all my decision. But yes, the idea, this is obviously a crazy year as well. So I don't know how folks are feeling about fundraising. Oh, that was something else I actually wanted to show you. If it's something that you're interested in, a lot of schools ask, you know, like in Jump Rope for Heart, a lot of, or a portion of the funds went to a charity, which was, you know, health and wellness related charity. So you can do the same thing. And I created a little, you know, template. Can you see this one? It says example campaign template. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we're all dealing with coronavirus, so I thought that would be, you know, topical, obviously. And many of our community members are hurting from, in more ways than one. So, you could choose to do a campaign that's just about giving to a charity, right? That is special to your community or for whatever reason. We hope that you do one that's related to health. Or you can split the money too and say, we're going to keep $500 to refresh our PE closet, and the other $500 is going to go to the local food pantry or whatever. So, it's really up to you, but I wanted to make sure you are aware too that, you could use the same system and fundraise for a third party. It doesn't have to be just for your school. So you can choose to give your money to whoever you want, basically, as long as it's a charity and someone in the health and wellness space.
Hey, Abby, because we have somebody on this call that does after school work in the school. And I know Hester had this conversation with you previously, but just as a reminder for those on the call, the difference in this campaign versus others as well is not limited to just schools, correct?
Correct. So any kind of youth serving organization could take advantage of it. We have a campaign of like a Mothers Against Drunk Driving chapter within a school is using it. Ideally, we'd love for PTOs to grab onto this, but yes, so any kind of after school or nonprofit youth serving organization could use GoDough as a fundraising vehicle. It's just, it's GoDough sort of powered by Catch and Alabama State Asaford. And then, it's really just to empower those organizations. So yeah, I mean, we created it to help schools, but it could work, for other types of organizations as well.
And there's a question about, can athletics teams use it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a great, vehicle for your booster club and sometimes that's easier, honestly. There's what we've been learning since we've been in the fundraising game here is that oftentimes there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape around fundraising in schools and districts. And one sort of workaround potentially is going through the PTO or a fundraising club for athletics or whatever else, because they tend to be their own entities and don't have to, go through some of that red tape. And that's why we created the option where you can get the one-time check distribution if that GoDough card is not going to work because of whatever restrictions in your district or your school. So, but yes, you could fully, fund your athletic program if that's what you wanted to do. Absolutely. Any other questions? I guess one other thing I kind of didn't show you, if we have a couple of minutes left on the call, that I can, is that other template that shows not just a sort of a generic messaging campaign around wellness, but more of a specific event. So let me go ahead and share that if I can find it. Hold on, here it is. Okay. Here we go. So here's just one of those templates again that shows a campaign that is around, again, an event. And you could do a Jump Rope for Heart event, a 5K. In this case, I just used the example of a student versus staff basketball game, right? So the story is a little bit more specific here. Obviously, come out and root for your favorite players on whatever date, tell them the location. We're raising money for our PE and wellness program at your school and the local food pantry. So I try to work that into. Then, tickets are just $5 each, but feel free to contribute as much as you're able. Just put the name of your students and how many tickets in the message section when you donate. So that's another feature when family members or community members donate, they have the option to write in a student that it's attached to. So, sometimes folks like to keep track of that for classroom incentives or whatever else. So they can do that. And then obviously too, there's an option you can purchase tickets at the door for cash. And, if they want to sell concessions, all that money can be collected too. And then you just deposit that through that Chase Bank, and it all goes, to that account. And, we distribute. And again, we encourage folks to be transparent around the budget. So just another sort of feature, a different way to use it. And trying to make it as easy as possible. Because literally you could cut and paste that stuff, put it in your own narrative, and then just tweak the details to meet your specific school or your event or whatever. So lots of different ways and possibilities, you know, that you could use it. Yeah, so I see there was a question and Penny seems to have answered it pretty well. So yeah, we do spot audits and we have restricted certain vendors. And if there's ever a vendor like, you know, oh, this not working for whatever reason, but it's totally legit, you just call us up, you call me, say, hey, I want to buy this thing, and we talk it out and then we make it work. We also use this Godot card we've been using for the past 3 years for our grant funded work. So when we provide stipends to schools through some of our catch promise work, we provide those through the Godot card, and it's been working really well. And there have been those times where it's like, oh gosh, this particular vendor is not working, and we just kind of work it out on a case-by-case basis. So there's a question from Sherry about, oh good, Ginger. All right, excellent. And again, those templates and whatever else, you know, Penny and the crew have all that stuff, so they can make it available to you on the website. It should be on our website too. I need to double check that most of that is. And when I do make sure, I will, you know, you can always go to catchinfo.org/Godot. So I will put that also. We've got some other resources up there, but I don't think everything is up there actually.
Yeah, and Abby, while we're on the call, Derek Lane is on this call, and he's now officially the president of Asaford.
Oh, congratulations.
So he'll be in connection with you on some things.
Okay, great. Well, that's about it. So let me put my email address too for folks if you know, are letting all this simmer in your mind and think of a question or want to ask me anything, feel free to just shoot me an email and I will get back to you.
Abby, there was one question on, is it tax deductible?
Yes. So we are a nonprofit, so folks are actually donating officially to Catch. So in that way, it is tax deductible, and there's a way to get them that letter. I don't have that off the top of my mind of like the process of how to do that, but that is an option for folks. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no, thank you for spending some time and let me know, you know, how else I can help. This is still a new program for us, and obviously COVID really threw a monkey wrench into everything. So we haven't had a lot of schools doing it this school year. So we'd love to get some schools going, and we'll support you and figure out ways, you know, to make it work. We're also interested, Derek and Penny and anyone else involved with Asaford, in doing like promotional challenges, right, and things like that, and contests and fun things. So if there's any kind of fun way to promote it that you want to talk about, just let me know.
Awesome. Well, this is great information.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Take care.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.